More than 600 bullets ripped through the deck of an American cargo ship in less than 3 minutes. 5 pirate skiffs, engines howling at 45 knots, swarmed the vessel, spraying it with rocket-propelled grenades and heavy machine gun fire as if it were nothing more than a floating target at a carnival game. On board, 23 sailors scrambled for cover, outnumbered, outgunned, trapped on a $250 million U.S. flag cargo ship off the lawless coast of Somalia. The pirates believed they had won. They laughed, they fired at random, and they prepared to demand ransom. What they didn't know was that 412 nautical miles away, the United States Navy had already launched drones, Apaches, and Blackhawks carrying elite commandos. The pirates thought they had trapped their prey. Instead, they had stepped into the jaws of something far more terrible. This is the story of the MV Redwood Star, the ambush, the rescue, and the fiery retaliation that turned the Somali coast into a graveyard. Stay with us until the end, because the U.S. response didn't just save a ship, it rewrote the rules of piracy forever. The attack begins May 9, 2025. Dawn broke over the Indian Ocean, the water restless and gray. At 7:18 a.m., the sea erupted with violence. 5 pirate skiffs surged across the waves, carrying at least 30 Somali gunmen. Their engines roared like jackals closing in on prey. Their target, the MV Redwood Star, an American cargo ship transporting more than $250 million worth of high-tech equipment bound for Southeast Asia. The pirates were armed to the teeth, AK-47s, PK machine guns, and RPG launchers. Tracer fire lit the air as they charged. On board the Redwood Star, 23 sailors, mostly Americans and Filipinos, scrambled to defensive positions. Armed only with shotguns and outdated rifles, they returned fire in short, desperate bursts. Shell casings rattled across steel decks. One sailor was shot in the shoulder. Another barely escaped a burst that splintered wood just inches from his head. The captain knew the truth. This fight was unwinnable. The ship rattled with incoming fire as bullets sparked off winches and cargo containers. With grim urgency, he ordered his crew to fall back. Together, they dragged the wounded into the ship's fortified citadel, a sealed chamber lined with hardened steel, equipped with oxygen and emergency radios. Above deck, the pirates cheered in triumph, boots pounding across the Redwood Star as they claimed victory. But below, the captain whispered a final coded transmission to the U.S. Navy. Mayday, this is Redwood Star, under siege, crew secure, awaiting your justice. The pirates had no idea. They had just declared war on the wrong enemy.
Mayday, this is Redwood Star, under siege, crew secure, awaiting your justice.
The Navy responds. The distress call reached the USS Independence, an American aircraft carrier cruising 400 nautical miles east of Somalia. On the bridge, silence fell. 23 Allied sailors were trapped inside a steel box, while heavily armed pirates prowled freely above them. The admiral didn't hesitate. With a single nod, the carrier came alive. 3 MH-60 Seahawks, armed with door-mounted miniguns, lifted off first to scout and suppress targets. 2 Apache gunships, bristling with rockets and 30mm cannons, followed close behind. Then came the real hammer, 3 Blackhawks carrying nearly 50 Navy SEALs and Marine Raiders, fully armed and ready to reclaim the Redwood Star. Above the ship, drones streamed infrared images back to the Independence. Inside the citadel, 23 glowing heat signatures proved the crew was still alive. Time was running out. Pirates were already prowling near the hatch. The admiral's order was short and cold. Launch all assets. Those are our people.
Launch all assets. No delays. Those are our people.
The battle for the deck. At 8:12 a.m., the first American helicopter swept in low over the waves. The Redwood Star's deck exploded with gunfire. A Seahawk gunner unleashed over 2,000 rounds in under a minute, tearing through pirate barricades and scattering gunmen in panic. Seconds later, the Apaches arrived. One pirate ran into the open. He was shredded instantly by a chain gun burst. Another group tried to rally behind cranes, but a Hydra rocket obliterated their position in a fireball of steel. Then the sky thundered. 3 Blackhawks roared overhead, dropping ropes as nearly 50 commandos slid onto the deck in disciplined waves. Within seconds, Navy SEALs and Marine Raiders fanned out in combat wedges, rifles sweeping, voices calm and controlled. The pirates tried to fight back. Desperate bursts of gunfire cracked across the deck. One raised an RPG. He was cut down before he could aim. Another tried to flank. 3 bullets ended him mid-stride. In just 6 minutes, the deck was secure. 8 pirates lay dead. 4 more dropped their weapons and surrendered in terror. The SEAL commander gave gave the radio update, "Deck secure, 0 friendly casualties, preparing to breach the citadel." The Redwood Star was back under American control, the hidden war. But this wasn't just a rescue, it was the beginning of something bigger, something designed to end the pirate threat at its roots. Within an hour, the captured pirates were kneeling on the deck of the Independence, hands bound, eyes wide with fear. Under scorching sun and relentless questioning, they cracked. GPS coordinates spilled out. Coordinates for a pirate stronghold hidden inland, a cluster of huts, weapons caches, and skiffs tucked into a Somali inlet. Dozens of armed men, fuel reserves, ammunition stacks. It was the nerve center of their operations, the base that kept their criminal empire alive. The admiral didn't hesitate. Orders were given, swift, decisive, and uncompromising. The U.S. would not just rescue its people, it would strike at the very heart of piracy itself. The retaliation. At 10:04 a.m., the sky above Somalia split open. 4 MQ-9 Reaper drones, armed with Hellfire missiles and precision bombs, descended on the pirate base. The first strike obliterated the largest hut. Secondary explosions followed instantly as hidden munitions ignited, tearing the compound apart in a chain reaction. Over the next 6 minutes, 3 more Reapers delivered their payloads. Trucks exploded, fuel tanks ignited, rows of skiffs vaporized in fireballs. By 10:12 a.m., the pirate stronghold was nothing but smoking craters and burning wreckage. Analysts estimated over 80% of pirate manpower and weapons were destroyed in less than 10 minutes, without a single American boot touching Somali soil. A SEAL watching the drone feed muttered, "They'll think twice before they ever look at an American ship again." Shockwaves across the coast, word spread faster than fire. By evening, pirate radio channels crackled with panic. Smuggling bosses ordered their boats pulled inland, engines dismantled, fuel drums buried. Satellite images over the next 72 hours confirmed it. Pirate anchorages, once bustling with skiffs and gunmen, were deserted. For the first time in years, the Indian Ocean lanes ran open and quiet. Insurance rates for shipping plummeted. Merchant captains reported uneventful voyages where once they had sailed in fear. A single decisive strike had accomplished more than months of patrols or years of negotiations. The lesson of the Redwood Star. For the crew of the Redwood Star, the nightmare ended with the citadel doors swinging open and the first breath of free air on deck. Their survival was proof of an old promise. When Americans call for help, that help arrives, not hesitantly, but with overwhelming force, speed, and precision. For the pirates of Somalia, the lesson was burned into the sand. Attacking an American ship is not a gamble. It is a death sentence, one that comes swiftly and without mercy. This wasn't just a rescue, it was a statement to the world, a doctrine as old as the first U.S. frigates, carried today by drones, helicopters, and SEALs. Anyone who threatens American lives at sea will be met with annihilation, no matter where they hide, no matter how bold they think they are. When the sun set over the Indian Ocean that day, the Redwood Star sailed on, rescued, defended, and unbroken. What shocked the world wasn't just American firepower. It was the speed, the precision, and the unity with which chaos was crushed. In less than a morning, pirates who thought themselves kings of the coast were reduced to silence and ash. If you found this story as riveting as we did, don't let it fade into silence. Hit that like button. Subscribe for more untold stories of modern warfare. And share this video so the world remembers the day Somali pirates learned the hard way what flies above an American ship. Because history isn't just written in books. Sometimes it's written in tracer fire, in drone strikes, and in the resolve of those who refuse to surrender.